Hey everybody, today it's Amit and Roy Bhandari of TalkCondo, joined by, once again, never quite like this before, Eric, but today we're joined by Eric Kuzuian, partner at Austin Birch, and we're going to be talking about an amazing new condominium in Oakville called Distrikt Trailside 2.0. So Eric, thanks for joining us in this new way of chatting and giving us some of your time today.
Well, I'll take any time I can get with you two, so it's a pleasure.
Awesome.
So we do want to talk about Distrikt. And I think Distrikt has one of the most interesting stories right now for a new condominium, for an investor looking to get into the market right now. And there's a number of reasons why. And I think the most important reason is sort of this Oakville condo story.
Right.
So I'm going to say a few points that we've highlighted, but
sure,
you're way more involved in this project than we are, and I'm sure you can give me some amazing insight. So here's a couple of points that I've made. Number one, we see Oakville as a very, very prestigious suburb. It has some of the highest average incomes, has some of the highest average home sale prices on the low-rise side. On the condo side, we're seeing this massive emergence of condo demand.
There's a gap.
There's a huge gap, and what we're seeing is that the condo prices on a per square foot basis are still at a discount to the other big suburbs. We've said we're selling Mississauga at $1,000 a square foot, Vaughan at $1,000 a square foot, Thornhill 900 plus a square foot. Whereas we're still seeing this bit of a discount on Oakville, which for us shows us a really clear path to growth for condo investors. Right. We're still seeing this sort of gap between this very, very prestigious, high priced suburb, whereas the condo prices still have this room for growth. So I want you to talk a little bit more about that and where you see that gap. And
yeah, absolutely. I mean, it's definitely amazing to see what kind of is happening in Oakville, and it's almost like, you know, you sit back and you're like, geez, like, why didn't I think of that? Or it only makes sense. Like, why didn't we all invest in Oakville years ago? But there's still amazing opportunity in Oakville. I think Oakville's just starting in terms of where the development is going to go. I mean, if you start looking at the amount of development applications out, it'll boggle your mind if you see the amount of applications in Oakville. It's true. I think a lot, like the biggest kind of thing going for Oakville is it's already a very desired neighborhood. A lot of these, you know, kind of up and coming condo developed neighborhoods usually need to like rely on maybe some new transit lines or some other new infrastructure. Maybe it's a university, something that's kind of driving investors to say, hey, maybe this neighborhood's going to do something. Oakville is already ranked the #1 neighborhood in the GTA. It's ranked the 4th best neighborhood in the whole country. So you're already, you know, it's kind of like you're taking a very desirable neighborhood, and now you're just creating product that is very much in need. And the reason why we're saying it's very much in need, you're right. The average real estate transaction is now almost $1.3 million in Oakville. So a desire for, you know, more affordable product, properly priced product is huge. And that's why you're kind of seeing this massive movement. And in terms of Distrikt, I mean, Distrikt is an amazing developer, you know, relatively new, but they've been doing luxury real estate for like the last 10 years. And what's great about, you know, Distrikt is they've kind of really smart when it comes to the way they see these opportunities. So they have about 3,500 units in the pipeline. Of those 3,500 units, 2,000 of them are in Oakville. They've identified the opportunity in Oakville. Moreover, what's really interesting about Distrikt is, you know, a lot of times, a lot of these investors are, you know, looking for secure developers to invest with, you know, feel safe, especially, you know, given the current climate and the fact that people want security even more than ever. So, you know, what Distrikt went and did is they basically partnered with the biggest real estate investment REIT, which is Fiera Real Estate, as a partner. So, I mean, it's like, you know, they have the vision of where to develop. Now they have the partner who provides the security, and they have the location that's going to do nothing but boom over the next 4 or 5 years. So, you know, it's an exciting opportunity, definitely.
For sure. And you mentioned already what's in the pipeline, but even just looking back, Distrikt obviously launched phase 1 of Trailside, and that was a huge success. The last I checked, it was over 95% sold. Maybe you have more of an update.
Yeah, it is. It is without a doubt Oakville's biggest success story when it comes to condo launches. Like Oakville traditionally, you know, always maybe developed a certain type of condo, and it was, a very, hey, let's just sell it to the neighborhood and let's see who wants to live here. And, they went through their, regular sales cycle. And then all of a sudden, here comes Distrikt, and we were able to position it as an opportunity for not just the Oakville market, for everybody else who wants to invest in real estate in the GTA. And boom, it was done in record time at record prices. And now this is the same project, and now we're coming out with the second building.
And it was a lot more of an urban sort of design focus, right? Like you said, because Oakville, you tend to see a very traditional sort of, very suburban style building that you tend to see, right?
Yeah. So basically, and it was forward thinking in terms of understanding where the condo market is going to go in Oakville, as opposed to where it's been in Oakville. And so the design really took advantage of the opportunity, the future of condo living, as opposed to what people were used to in terms of current condo living.
Let's talk about the design a little bit. One of the things that I personally loved was all the stuff about Distrikt AI. I'm a complete nut for all of the smart home stuff. I come home, my curtains open, my lights turn on, my door locks behind me, and it all happens automatically. So when you guys start talking about building all this infrastructure for all this sort of smart home right into the building, that got me very excited. So talk to me a little bit about that program, and then talk to me about how you're thinking about the future.
Yeah, so again, what's amazing about Distrikt, and I'm just going to give you kind of like how this kind of came about, and then I'll actually get into the features of this amazing next generation smart living. But it was very simple in terms of saying, okay, what's the most technically advanced system in the condo marketplace? And we said, well, probably Trailside 10 York.
Yeah.
And so Distrikt's like, okay, I want that. So again, it was like, we're not looking to build a 40-story tower with 70,000 units in the pipeline like Tridel. It was just, hey, what is the best that we can do? And let's apply that to our projects. And then when they took it a step further to basically make it standard for not only this project, but all their product moving forward. So Distrikt AI is basically next generation smart living. And what that does is it's a standard offering for every unit in the project. And it's basically a pad that comes in every unit, keyless entry. We're talking about, and like true technology, it's really a basis where it doesn't just make your unit smart, it actually makes the whole building smart. So the way your parcels are received, the way you book all the amenity spaces, the way you can provide codes to different people coming in and out of your unit if you require service. If you're a landlord, being in touch with all the news that comes out of the property management company for the building. So it's a very intuitive way. And the great thing about it is it's a basis that just has set up for added features as every year progresses. So, they're thinking by it's probably not ready yet, but they know that by year 3, which is when this building will probably be ready, that it's going to have license plate recognition, where you can just get into the garage by just your license plate being recognized, as opposed to any fobs required or anything like that. So it's very smart. It's 100% standard. It's available with every single unit in the building.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
I love the other thing is the fact that it is modular, but what you're saying is that things can be added on as more technologies become available.
Oh yeah, if you want to, eventually start adding your Alexas or your Googles or control your heats or your music, it is all, it's all available in terms of features available. Yeah.
Yeah, that's incredible.
Awesome. I want to talk again about this idea of the pricing.
Right.
We do have a price point that you've mentioned for the average of the building to expect. Mm-hmm. And again, I wanted to compare that to the other suburbs, just to highlight just how good a value proposition this is. So why don't you give us an overview of what to expect in terms of pricing and what that's going to look like?
Yeah, so basically, if you're an investor and you're looking to invest in the GTA, you're going to spend about $1,350 in Toronto. You're going to spend $930 plus in Vaughan. Both North York and Mississauga are at over $1,000 a square foot. Yeah. So for Distrikt Trailside 2.0, as a project average, you're not hearing this wrong. This is the actual number. It's $790 per square foot, including parking and locker. And what's amazing about that is, again, there's so many attractions to Oakville already. And you're not just investing in a market that has upside in terms of price point, but you're investing in a market that is continuously ranked the safest place to live, that has access to not only the top private schools, but some of the best public schools. top medical facilities, top recreational facilities. So, it has 2,500 acres of parkland and 8 kilometers of shoreline. That's really unique, right? To kind of have like that type of parkland and have that type of access to the water. So it's you're investing in, like I said, a very desirable neighborhood that just has nothing but upside.
Yeah, we could talk about all the amazing things about in Oakville we can be here forever. I mean, we didn't even mention the scope of the GO station there.
Correct.
The GO station is a intermodal GO that connects to Hamilton to Toronto. It's a major GO network.
Yeah, so Oakville is actually designated an anchor hub, and what a lot of people don't know, and I'm glad you kind of brought that up, Roy, is that Oakville GO station is actually the second largest terminal, right behind Union Station in the entire GTA. So it's a huge anchor hub. And what's amazing, or what's really interesting about Oakville, and this kind of, again, feeds into the whole idea of why invest in Oakville and where's the rentals going, and we'll get into all that. But what's amazing about Oakville is everybody thinks that people in Oakville jump on a GO station and go to Toronto. Well, there's about 2,500 people who do that every day. But what's more interesting is 5,000 people get off at Oakville from Toronto every day and come into work. So the employment opportunities, the programs that the government's put in place to fund businesses is kind of streaming right now in Oakville.
That's amazing. Hospitals, I'm just rhyming off.
So
hospitals,
retail.
Yeah, and you know what? And it's kind of like, it's funny because Distrikt Trailside 2.0, it's kind of at like center ice. Like if you walk right outside your front door, if you look at your amenities map, you'll see that, Oakville Trafalgar Hospital, which is the most technically advanced hospital in the GTA with like over 450 smart rooms, they're calling it. That's right outside your front door. 16 Mile Creek, which is the most technologically advanced kind of recreational sport facility. That's right outside your front door. And then you have quick access to Whole Foods, Fortino's, Walmart, you name it, it's all there. It's exciting.
Yeah, and again, not to beat on the bush, but you've got all this stuff. You've got one of the most prestigious neighborhoods in all of GTA, and you're still being able to buy at a discount to the other suburbs. And I really want to keep hammering that home because I think that's so
perfect mix, right? It's a perfect
and yeah, absolutely, and totally. You know what, like. And to take it one step further is the actual rental market for your investors once they're
very strong, very, very strong.
It is insane. It is at 0.6%. It's the lowest vacancy in the whole GTA, right? It's they're leasing on average 100% of ask in less than 10 days. Okay. We've seen a little bit of a correction in central Toronto based on the current climate. There's absolutely no correction, and there's more appreciation in Oakville. I'm going to throw you a couple of stats that are just mind-boggling that people don't realize. So if you look at condo rental opportunities in Oakville, the entire city of Oakville, there's 70 condo condo rental on the market right now, compared to over 5,000 in central Toronto available for lease right now. And then what's even more important, or that's more fascinating in my opinion, most investors are looking for smaller product. So if you then take the 1-bedroom and den or smaller product, there's only 17 available leases in Oakville for that type of product versus over 3,200 current available in central Toronto. So again, for investors, it's like, it's very simple. Like, where do you see the opportunity?
I was just checking a little bit earlier, actually, Eric. There was just one single unit available between 400 and 499 square foot.
Yeah.
In Oakville entirely.
Yeah.
Which is incredible.
I know.
So talk to us about the rental rates. We obviously talked about the price points being, as much as 40% of a discount to some of the core areas, 50% in some areas. What is the drop off on the rental rates compared to a core versus an Oakville?
So the rental's gone crazy. Like, so from 2017 to 2018, you saw about an 8% appreciation year over year, and then from 2018 to 2019, 10%, and then in the first Q2 of 2020, 2 quarters, we've seen another 10% jump. So now in Oakville, currently, we're not even talking about 2-3 years from when the building is ready. The average 1-bedroom now is just under $2,000 a square foot.
Wow, amazing.
Right. So, and which is basically, like you said, maybe not even a 10% discount in downtown Toronto, right? Compared to the price points that you're saving on. And regardless of where the price is, like we said, you're going to put that lease out, it's going to be done in a day.
For sure.
Yeah.
Amazing. So just to I want to tie this little piece in. We talked about Oakville being one of the best suburbs in the GTA, prices that are uncomparable, whereas rental rates are still very similar to the other big suburbs. You're getting a discount on the price, but very, very similar rental rates. So for an investor, you're going to get low vacancy. You mentioned how tight the rental market is there, and you're going to get these high rental rates.
Right.
Another thing that I wanted to talk about Distrikt 2.0 is something that I think is really, really interesting is the unit mix and the unit types that you're bringing. What I thought was very, very interesting is that you guys took a lot of information from Distrikt 1, looked at the most popular floor plans, and they're the ones that we focused on for Distrikt 2.0. So talk us a little bit through what that is exactly and sort of the thinking behind that.
Yeah, so what we basically did is we kind of looked at a couple of things. We looked at obviously the success of the first project, the amount of requests we had for certain unit types. And you guys, you know, I'll give you a little exclusive today. We actually added even more units. So now for Distrikt 2.0, we were going to be, you know, 320 units. Now we're at 350 units. So we took the last 3 months when everybody else was on pause to add even more units to the project based on, you know, understanding exactly where we think the investment opportunities are, what the rental market is demanding. So we were able to curate perfectly sized units that meet exactly where the rental requirements are. And what we did is we also, and you know, coincidentally, it was also the same units that most people were looking for. So what we're kind of seeing now is you know, and probably in the foreseeable future, entry-level pricing. People who are still very much interested in the real estate investment game, but might be a little more conservative with how much they want to invest. And we think, you know, more and more seeing these opportunities in the submarkets is becoming more and more attractive for these people. And I think what's important is if you're going to look at all these different submarkets, whether it's your Whitby's or your Oshawas or your Miltons or your Markhams or all this place, you know, if you actually look at quality of life and where Oakville is rated, like I said, for health, for economy, for education, it's almost a no-brainer. And above, you know, the fact that it's kind of ticking off all those boxes, and then all of a sudden it's coming to you and saying, oh, by the way, we're also 20% cheaper. It's almost like, you know, it's like anything else. It's too good to be true, and maybe there's a 2-3 year window for that before it kind of Oakville gets out of hand. So I think that's kind of where you're also seeing a lot of expats now starting moving to the suburbs. You know, Toronto's getting so out of, it's not affordable for a lot of people, you know, so most people are capped at $1 million to purchase a home now based on their average income. And more and more as people are looking to maybe work from home or do more from home, you know, the idea of not having to be in central Toronto where they can get more space, that's the other thing that's amazing about 2.0. Our average unit size is bigger than the average of central Toronto. So you're getting more unit in Amit for less money. So, you know, that's kind of where, you know, like I said, it just continues to kind of deliver.
Amazing. I wanted to talk about this idea that of Oakville's ranking as one of the best neighborhoods across Canada and the GTA. You already, I think, mentioned a little bit earlier that it was ranked the #1 neighborhood in the GTA. Can you talk to us a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so consistently it ranks #1. Like I said, it's usually in the top 3 or 4 in the whole country. And it has to do with a lot of factors. You know, when they kind of rate these towns, they take a lot into consideration. They take into consideration the economy, the demographic. They take education, of course, health, employment opportunities. You know, they factor all that in. So, you know, again, consistently, if you tick off all the boxes, you're looking at a very desirable neighborhood. You're looking at amazing recreational and sport facilities. You're looking at amazing neighborhood amenities. Every shopping you could think of is already there. Hospitals, medical facilities, top notch. Job opportunities, top notch, and then education. Like, I mean, you know, some of their private schools there look like you're looking at like Harvard or Yale campuses. Like, they're gorgeous.
Yeah,
so you know, it kind of takes all that into consideration. And yeah, Oakville's always ranked in the top 4 or 5 for the whole country, and yeah, consistently in the top 1 in the GTA.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Another thing that I think our investors are going to be really excited about is your incentives.
Right.
We already mentioned that the units will include parking and locker. And I think there's a couple of other very, very exciting incentives. Is that something you can share with us?
I can. So, what we're basically going to do is a couple of things. We're going to, first and foremost, we're going to give a very favorable deposit structure. So, and this favorable deposit structure is going to basically be $10,000 with your offer, 2.5% in 30 days, only 2.5%, and then another 2.5% in 120 days. So you're only tying up 5% in 2020.
Wow.
Now, in the next year and a half, we're going to take another 10% total. So your investors are only tying up 15% until they get their keys, with the final 5% being on occupancy. So it's a very lengthened in 2.5% installments, very favorable deposit structure, so people don't feel any stress and feel good about their investment. In addition to that, investors, what they're going to obviously, and I'm sure you guys obviously know this inside out, they're going to get an amendment when they sign their deal in the first, platinum broker process, where they're going to have the right to lease during occupancy. And in addition to that, and you're not going to hear this wrong, but we're giving you 0 DCs. So development charges are going to be capped at 0.
So that's huge. And for anybody who's been through a condo closing, realizes how huge this is. A DC is a closing cost that is added to your fees at the end when you take title. And typically that's an expense out of pocket. And you guys are saying for this initial release, the platinum release,
correct,
you're going to have an incentive to have 0 DCs. That is a huge, and obviously the land transfer tax in Oakville is
25%. So, it's funny because we kind of ran these numbers, Roy and Amit, and I'll just give you guys a quick little, scenario. So if you take a 700 square foot condo, let's say, right? So in Toronto, that condo is going to cost you $945,000. You're going to pay about $32,000 in land transfer tax, as opposed to $540,000 at Distrikt 2.0. So almost a $400,000 savings, 50% savings on the deposits, and you're looking at DCs of only $7,500 versus $32,000. So it's a huge savings when you actually start thinking about the closing costs. The land transfer tax, closing costs, and then 0 DCs on top of that. So it's really exciting, and we're looking forward to working with everybody.
Amazing. So we talked about Oakville. We talked about the price points compared to other suburbs, and just this gap of prestige versus pricing today. And I think there's a lot of room for growth in Oakville. We talked about a very, very robust and tight rental market. Right. We talked about Oakville being the #1 ranked neighborhood in the GTA and #4 in all of Canada. We talked about Distrikt as a development team and their pipeline of very, very impressive products. We talked about the building itself with very urban, modern design. That's very future thinking with this smart home sort of integrated right throughout the building, not just the suites, but throughout the building. We talked about amazing pricing, amazing incentives. Is there anything else that I missed that you would like to talk about? We talked about. Maybe we can quickly touch base on some of the key features of the actual units. That is a little, different than what most people are used to. Even though we're promoting and we have a great opportunity for investors to come in and grab some investor units, we're still finishing these units that they would be like end users. So what I mean by that is, you guys would know more than ever. Our standard kitchen run is 11.5 feet, compared to 10 feet, right? Our standard appliances are 30 inches as opposed to 24 inches that you get everywhere else, right? So as much as it's investor product, it is still geared towards an end user, and that comes back to the Distrikt background where they like creating luxury product, and they want to make sure that these are still functional kitchens. These are still great counter spaces. You can still host people in there. We're talking about 15,000 square feet of amenities in the building. Your condo, if you look at Mississauga or more places in Mississauga or Oakville, traditionally these condo gyms aren't nothing great. But, the fact that they put this on the ground floor so they can have double height and state-of-the-art fitness studio and spin studio and yoga studio, it's really representative of like a real gym. Double height lobby, 24-hour concierge. And this is all being offered at a maintenance of 53 cents a square foot. So, the features of the building itself are amazing. The finish of the building and the kitchens and your vanities. Oh, sorry, all your vanities, by the way, and your kitchens are all handmade and imported from Italy. And this is like, it just doesn't stop. Like it is,
Distrikt is always putting out their best foot, and they want to make sure that, you know, their reputation stands behind with the product they put out.
I was going to say, with the renderings that you see of the lobby, like the word that came to mind for the lobby, it was opulent to me. It's really, you know, there's a lot of natural stone finishes, even with vanity spaces, you know, really, really high end. So I think that you know, I think there's a lot to like here, and at a price that I think a lot of investors will like as well.
It checks a lot of boxes.
It ticks off all the boxes. Yeah.
You know, again, just to sort of loop this back around, I think over the last 12 months we've seen you know, a real growth in demand for Oakville. We've seen a handful of condo launches. You know, obviously Distrikt 1 was one, but we've seen the demand and the pickup and the velocity of sales to be very, very strong. These buildings are selling out very, very fast. I can tell you from our side, and just talking to the general brokers, that early demand for Distrikt 2 has been very, very, very strong. There is a real appetite to get into this market and this building. So I think you know, it's a building that we're really excited to bring to our investors. If our investors are interested in investing, what do they have to do?
Well, I think if they're talking to you guys, they know exactly what to do. You know, TalkCondo is a platinum partner, top performer for us, and we'll have early exclusive access without a doubt. So, you know, our team will definitely be in touch with TalkCondo, and TalkCondo, you know, I'm sure you guys will be in touch with your investors. We will, as the exact program over the next couple of weeks of how to secure the units come out, you know, we'll lay that out for you guys, and I'm sure in turn you guys will pass it on. But if they're already talking to you, then they already have the inside scoop.
Amazing. Eric, thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Eric.
My pleasure, guys.
Look forward to the next couple of weeks.
Look forward to it, guys. Take care. Thank you for having me.
Bye.
Okay.
Take care.